Srividya and I were chatting about something, and she was actually at home. We were discussing, and suddenly she asked me, "When is your daughter getting married?" And I said, "February." And this was last year, so I said February 2022. She said, "You know what? I want to be a part of the wedding." And I joked and I said, "Of course, Vidya, I will invite you." She said, "No, no, no. I want to be a part of the wedding as Atulya events." And that's when it struck me that Srividya, my friend, was not just a friend but was also a wedding planner. And I was like, I didn't know how to react. I said, "Yeah, yeah, sure, we will." Because at that point of time, we had not even thought of, a wedding planner or somebody who's going to help us. And I spoke to Sabesh, and Sabesh said, "Yeah, we can have a preliminary meeting." So Srividya had given me a nice little diary which said, "Keep calm and hire a wedding planner." At that point, I didn't know how important it was, but when she came home, remember Sabesh, and she had the first meeting as a wedding planner with Sabesh and me.
Well, we had, by the time we had the first discussion with Vidya, we had already narrowed down on a mandapam in Bangalore, a rather nice one, and we had had the preliminary discussions with the couple of local decorators, so to say. And the issue with me then was the pictures that they all sent me. I think 9 out of 10 were the same. So they were obviously taking some stock pictures and sending. So I just parked my thoughts there, not knowing how to execute them, because as we like a lot of creative stuff as a family, and whatever we do, we try and do things that gives us joy and hope that it brings joy to other people who are involved. So when Vidya came with this suggestion, we said, okay, let's look it up and let's see what is there on the offer. And we did have the initial round of discussions. She said it can be done like this, like that. The venue is pretty large, and we had about 5 events spread over a day and a half. And it struck us that we need to do something so that we use the space well. We try and make them look different for each event that we have. So that's how the whole thing started. We kind of, she wanted to know what we had in mind. We gave them a kind of a basic expectation, and then it started rolling from there.
So what she did was ask us questions, and she even asked our daughter and our son-in-law, Dhwani and Surya, what is the kind of mood that you want? What do you want people to take away from the wedding? What is the vibe? What is the essence of the wedding that people will remember for a long time to come? And remember, it's in the middle of a pandemic. We think that February is going to be, fine and everything is going to be sorted out. But as we progressed, sometimes we feel that it's like a film set. It's like planning for a film. It's all there in paper, and you try and visualize this. But with every meeting, Srividya would say that, let me get back to you on this. Let me give you some more options for this. Let me give you some more options for. And she started giving us goody ideas, which we would have otherwise missed. And she kept saying, don't worry, everything will gather a momentum just about a month before the wedding. We took Vidya with us, and we went for a recce.
Yes.
To the mandapa, which is MLR in Bangalore. And of course, how we went, took her to every little corner there.
what really impressed me was Vidya, after discussing with us, gave us hand sketches on what she thought the end product would look like, or what she wanted the end product to look like. And that was mighty impressive. The kind of details that we saw there, she had everything down right to the kind of flowers, the length of the hanging, the amount of flowers in each string, and so on. So there was a lot of thought and a lot of work that had gone behind those sketches. And I thought, yes, if this can be done, executed the way it looks on the paper, the way it looked on the sketches, it would be really beautiful. So that kind of made us lead more and more towards what Vidya was trying to tell us. And then at some point in time, she was on board.
Yeah, I think she used to ask all the relevant questions, saying that are you going to have she knows everything about the religious customs. So when she asked me questions, I was like, okay, I need to ask Dhwani's views on this and Surya's views, and she asked me a lot of questions on what are the customs we're going to follow, what are the and then when she actually was after the sketches or just before the sketches, she asked me the sari colors of Dhwani. So I was wondering, okay, maybe only after I received the sketches, and of course at the mandapa, I realized how important it was to have those inputs for her, and what those inputs actually did for Sri Vidya and her team to come up with the sketches. So I in MLR, when we were doing the recce, she was constantly brainstorming within herself and saying that no, let me, because she kept saying that unless and until I see the venue, I will not be able to give you my final sketches. And I think that kind of once she was there and she saw everything, she came up with more and more ideas. Atulya events always looked into the details. The attention to details was absolutely fascinating.
I think one more thing is, as we were talking to these decorators in Bangalore, another point came up that the wedding season, the weddings were coming back with the pandemic kind of easing, and I think these decorators, standard ones, had accepted more than they could really chew. Yeah. So whenever I used to call them, they always seemed preoccupied, extremely busy, and then we wondered if they are not going to be physically present on that day, it's going to be tough. Because we would have limited bandwidth to follow up and chase them on that day, and we would definitely not like to be preoccupied with those kind of the incomplete scenario, getting worked up, trying to chase someone and so on. So that's another factor which was working in my mind when we decided to finally get Atulya on board. The other thing is the great teamwork. They have the right people for the, all the good things. So I think they're a team of about 4 or 5 people. There's Vidya, there's Prabha, there is Harshita, and all her, and her assistants. Each one has a specific role in what was being developed, what was being shown to us. And that gave us a lot of confidence that it's not a one person who is, looking at it. If somebody is not available, there's somebody else who can step in and do it for us.
They say that as the date of the wedding comes closer and closer, she said the anxiety levels will go up for you. And I said, I knew about it, but she said, I want you to have a stress-free kalyanam. I knew that was impossible, but what she meant was at least the things that she could take away in terms of, will this be ready? Will the decoration be ready on time? Will the customs, all the silver items or the brass items, will everything be ready? Will the Kashi Yatra, items be ready? All this will be taken care of. So you concentrate on making sure that you have a happy wedding. And that's exactly what we had. Dhwani made such a happy bride because we were all happy and we were all as two units. We just wanted the best to happen to our children. So 1 week before the wedding, I realized that the person who was going to tie the 9 yards for me and Dhwani was unable to make it for the wedding, and I was like, I didn't panic, but I was definitely concerned. So I immediately messaged Srividya and she said, it'll be taken care of. Just one line. And I said, from Bangalore or from Chennai? She said, from Chennai. So I said, okay, and I completely forgot about it. And imagine my happiness when on the day of the Vridam morning, Lata, their team member, comes and does such a fabulous job. And even you've got up early in the morning, you're anxious, you just want to make sure everything is right. And she, in her own way, says, it'll all be fine. And she gives you, and then she comes and gives you the flowers that is required. And in the 9 yards, sometimes you keep kosavam, you keep more pleats, less pleats, all that. And it was the calming nature of the entire team of Atulya, Srividya, Varshita, Prabha, Lata, in fact, even Kasi. Everybody had this smile. It was like a permanent smile. One more thing I want to say is the day previous to the Vridam, it was late. We had got the mandapa already. We were all shifting in, and it was around 11:30 in the night. I walk into the main hall and I see the entire team. Everybody is doing something or the other. And Varshita and Prabha say, see, look at this Marapachi, look at this. So the excitement in their faces was so much more. And I said, now this looks like a typical filmy set. Everything is ready. And Srividya just looked at me and said, Janaki, go get some sleep. We are here, no? We'll take care. So that kind of, that reassurance is so much needed at that time. And I really slept well that night.
One common question that people would often have the moment you talk of a wedding or any outsourced service is, will it be expensive? We too did have those concerns because we were all, after all, working against what you call a planned budget. Now, it depends on how one wants to look at it. Yes, there is a small premium that you pay for a certain quality. Some of it is tangible, but a lot of it is not tangible. And what is not tangible is the amount of bandwidth that it can release from you, because you don't have to worry about so many different things that otherwise you would be bogged down with. A typical South Indian wedding is, there are so many different things that people often talk about, that this was missed, that was missed, somebody complained. So the entire thing is taken care of, somebody is looking at that, and you're free to really celebrate the wedding. And that's something very intangible and can't be measured, and there's definitely value to that, which I would like to highlight. We all spend some money. Every wedding there is a budget, and there is a certain amount allocated for decoration. What I think we often don't realize is, for the money spent, whether we get a certain value. The same amount of money can be put to use in a much better way to get a much better output. We spend so much time and so much effort discussing the menu. We want the best food. We want people to experience, the 3-4 meals. I'm sure every household spends a lot of time, and they do spend a certain amount of money discussing the costumes that the bride will wear, the groom will wear, the family will wear. So I think the the ambience that the decoration can create is in equal measure an essential part of all this. Because at the end of the day, they all complement each other to create a wonderful experience. So that's something certainly that I saw, I realized, and I'm very happy that we took this decision.
Ultimately, what our family and friends said after the wedding, that A, it was such a happy wedding. B, they were absolutely thrilled with the choice of colors. They said there were so many colors, but then they all they didn't merge. They all stood out, and each event stood out for its simplicity, but also elegance. Now that is what we wanted in the first place, and thanks to Atulya and their entire team, that they gave us this experience. And see, at some point we have to have a detached attachment to this, right? And because I know Sabesh is always like so much hands-on in what color should go, what flower should come here. Do you think this and that will go? We already knew there was going to be marigold, but we also wanted, like, suddenly my daughter said, I don't want heavy garlands, because it would start paining. And when I told that, Srividya said that's taken care of, and she started sending me pictures. Now those garlands, everybody spoke about, saying that it was so beautiful, and she already knew the saris that Dhwani was wearing, so it made sure that it didn't clash. And the expanse, even though we had a large enough mandapa, it was also social distancing, there were so many senior citizens. The beauty was that everybody could experience, soak in every little element that they had not only sketched but also executed. And it was not easy, to work with a decorator who was local. Srividya did not have her entire team there, otherwise her usual people. So it was also a challenge for her. But then what ultimately stood out was that everybody looked good, pictures looked good, people were happy, and it was all smile straight from the heart. And I think that was possible because we put a lot of trust on Atulya. And see, it doesn't come in one sitting, it doesn't come in one meeting. We had so many meetings, we went back and forth on a lot of things. We were ourselves discussing, Sabesh and I, do we really need a wedding planner? I mean, I'm sure we can do this, but we don't realize that, both of us will be on stage. We'll have to be a part of the religious ceremonies. And that's when we realized, I think, that it really helps in getting somebody who understands the space, who has aesthetics, and who has the very, very calming and reassuring tone to say that this will be taken care of. Because that's what you want. At the end, you don't want to be asked, where is this and how do I get this on the D-Day? You're blissfully unaware. And in our case, I think that was very true, right?
In fact, I think the term wedding planner is, it doesn't convey the full picture.
Yeah.
Because, the family plans the wedding in a sense, but what somebody like an Atulya can bring to the table is, as Janaki said, the calming effect, the reassurance, the freeing up of bandwidth that I mentioned, which is extremely important in a marriage. Filling in the little blanks that can often be missed. So I don't know what to call a team like this, but it's a lot more than what the typical wedding planner term probably indicates. And also, I missed out mentioning about the photography. I mean, we all spend on a good videographer, a good photographer, and today there's also web streaming. But in a lot of these, what we see is only backs of people. So there was also discussion on who could stand where, how you free up space for the camera, and obviously the camera will also capture the backdrop and the ambience. And I think we all, when we look back, want that kind of we feel nice that it's not only the ceremonies per se, but the entire thing together with the decoration, how the place looked, how seamlessly everything worked. That gives us a lot of happiness.
So I think if we were to summarize how this entire wedding process happened, initially, even though we had our own concerns about, in terms of the money spent and whether we really needed somebody to tell us, because see, the priest will know, the caterer will know, there are adults, elders in the family who will know. But beyond all of this, you need that one person who says, listen, I know that they all know, I know that you know, but you'll still need me. So I'm so glad Srividya asked, and both of us said yes. Of course, we took our time to say yes, but we're so happy that, because now I think we both, if there's any wedding, anybody who said, you must check Atulya out, and we seem to be the spokespeople person for Atulya, because we really want people to experience the Atulya-ness of a wedding, because I think unless and until you experience, we will not be able to share that. And to experience it, you need to trust. You need to trust Srividya and her team, and I'm so glad we did. And
let's not forget that increasingly more and more people know less and less about our customs. And while everyone wants to stick to the traditional customized custom wedding, follow customs to the wedding, either you leave it to the priest, or go running around for last minute inclusions, exclusions, or have somebody like this who they can really handhold you through the entire process, and you can rest assured everything will be in place.
Yeah. All the best to Team Atulya. You guys are the best, and you guys really have this calming effect on. We know that you had sleepless nights. We know that many of you didn't even sleep, but it didn't show on your faces at all.
Yeah. And I also wish people could really see these sketches vis-a-vis the final output, and how they were so close to each other. Just to give you an idea of what kind of planning must have gone behind the entire thing.
All the best, Atulya. You're the best.